Hey guys, and welcome back to part 3 of my 2012 through 2013 NFL Week 1 predictions. Now, this is part 3 of the video, and I'm hoping that this will be the last addition into the Week 1 predictions. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first game I have to predict for you guys is the New England Patriots at the Tennessee Titans. Now, I like both teams heading into this season. I like the New England Patriots more than I like the Tennessee Titans. To me, the Tennessee Titans have a pretty tough schedule, and I think they're going to struggle because of it, but I think that they are a pretty decent team. I like Jake Locker as a quarterback. I think that he was highly coveted coming into the draft, and he was drafted over Blaine Gabbert for a reason. I think Tennessee saw something in Jake that they didn't see in Blaine Gabbert, and it obviously worked out. Jake took over the starting quarterback job late last year whenever Matt Hasselbeck went down for injury, and he's played pretty well throughout his NFL tenure, even though it's been short. I think he has the potential to groom into a 4-star caliber quarterback. As far as the Patriots go, they're the Patriots, they're Tom Brady, you got your Wes Welkers, you got your Bill Belichick as your coach, so the New England Patriots have a lot of potential to be very good. Their defense was very, very crappy last year, and that is why they lost to the New York Giants. They couldn't contain Eli Manning's passing game, and it just bit him. It bit him hard. They went out and drafted some good defensive players early in the draft this year. So I think the New England Patriots will be improved. I think the Tennessee Titans will be improved. You can't forget that the Titans have Chris Johnson, who a few short seasons ago rushed for over 2,000 rushing yards. The Titans keep improving, getting younger players. I think they'll be good. But in this game, I'm going to have to take the New England Patriots on the road over the Titans by the score of 20-17. So the next predictions I have in line for you guys is the Seattle Seahawks at the Arizona Cardinals. These are both division rivals. Last year, the Seahawks finished with a record of 7-9. The Cardinals finished with a record of 8-8. John Skelton is getting the starting job over Kevin Kolb, and Russell Wilson is starting over Matt Flynn. I really don't think that either of those are good decisions. I know that John Skelton won more games in 7 games last year than Kevin Kolb did in his 9 games, but I just don't think John Skelton's that great of a quarterback. He doesn't throw touchdowns. Kevin Kolb threw more touchdowns, and he also had a positive touchdown-interception ratio. John Skelton was negative, but Skelton was a rookie last year. You have to take that in result. But whenever you have a rookie quarterback who can come in and win 5 of the 7 games he starts, it's a pretty good indication that he may be a good quarterback down the line, and maybe Skelton will. He just doesn't have the bold quarterback style, I guess. But you know what? Neither did Tom Brady whenever he was young, so we'll just have to wait and see. The Cardinals running game, Beanie Wells is always hurt. It's hard to really judge that. Tim Hightower got released just a couple days ago, so they really can't go to him. They have one of the best wide receivers in the game when it comes down to Larry Fitzgerald. Although he hasn't been as productive with a lack of arm at quarterback, they thought Kevin Kolb and him would form a good bond. They didn't work out. We'll see how Skelton and Fitz come together. The Cardinals' defense is iffy. We'll see how that translates. Now, the Seattle Seahawks. Russell Wilson actually won the starting job over Matt Flynn. That surprises me. Matt Flynn, the 2 games that I've seen him play, I saw him play in both games that he got to start in his NFL career, and he played well in both games, winning 1 game, passing for 6 touchdowns in 1 game, and losing on the road by 3 against the New England Patriots team, where he threw for 2 touchdowns and 1 interception, I do believe. So he's a pretty good player. I'm surprised Russell Wilson's starting over him, especially as a rookie, but apparently Wilson has a lot of potential that Pete Carroll sees in him. They have Marshawn Lynch. I love Marshawn Lynch. I think he is one of the best running backs in the league. I love the beast mode running backs who are just like freakishly huge. They're 6'5", 230 pounds, and they can run and they can plow you over, but they have good speed and good agility as well. And I think that the Seattle Seahawks are definitely going to benefit with him at running back yet again this year. They went out and signed Braylon Edwards. They got Sidney Rice before the previous season. They signed Kellen Winslow, but they released him. I really don't know what that's about. I thought he's a pretty good tight end, and I thought the Bucs made a mistake by letting him go. But I guess maybe not because the Seahawks released him. And the Seahawks defense, I really like the Seahawks defense. They're really good and up and coming. They have a lot of good playmakers. They drafted a safety a couple years ago, and I can't remember his name, but I really, really like their defense. I think they're young and they are very up and coming, and I like the Seahawks team as a whole. And I am going to pick the Seahawks to win in Arizona by the final score of 27-24. Alright guys, so the next game I have to make predictions for you is the San Francisco 49ers at the Green Bay Packers. Last year, the San Francisco and Green Bay were the NFC's top two teams. The Packers finished 15-1, only to lose in the playoffs to the New York Giants, and the San Francisco 49ers finished 13-3, only to lose to the New York Giants in the NFC Championship game. That was very, very entertaining. The 49ers have an excellent defense. They have an incredible rush defense, undoubtedly the best in the league. They have a pretty good pass defense. Patrick Willis, one of the best rushing linebackers in the game. And I really like their defensive line. I love their entire defense in San Francisco. The Packers, their defense it struggles. They're trying to upgrade it. They're doing a good job, but they still give up a lot of passing yards, and that's definitely a problem whenever you consider that the NFL is a passing league. But the thing the Packers do have that the 49ers don't have is the best quarterback in the game. Yes, Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers plus the receiving core they have. They added Cedric Benson as a running back. Hopefully he can do some damage against the 49ers defense. I wouldn't count on it because the 49ers have a really good rush defense, but Cedric Benson definitely does help because they lost Ryan Grant, who was supposed to be their starting running back. They have really good receivers, as I said before, good offensive line. Defense, they make the plays whenever they need to make the plays, but they also let a lot of plays go and give up a lot of big yardage, a lot of big yard gains for the opposing offense. So hopefully the Packers can fix that. However, I do think the Packers are going to win this game by the final score of 28-17. So the next game we have is the Carolina Panthers at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think the Buccaneers are going to be much improved. They made a lot of free agent signings, Vincent Jackson being the key free agent signing. They have him, Aurelius Ben, and Mike Williams all as the top three receivers for the team as my iPod ESPN updates go off. And I think that the Buccaneers passing game is going to be much improved. They drafted the running back out of Boise State, whose name I cannot remember at the moment. They have LeGarrette Blount. He's a little bipolar when it comes to running, but he's normally pretty good. They also signed Dallas Clark, who also upped the passing game. They got some new offensive linemen who should help protect Josh Freeman. Their defense is good and up and coming. I think they got a young defense that's pretty good, and I think the Buccaneers are going to improve their record a lot this year. I think they may be a 9 or 10 win team as opposed to a 4-win team last season. The Panthers, I think the same. I think the Panthers are going to be much improved. Their defense is what really let them down last season. They have a pretty bad defense, but Cam Newton, whenever you have Cam Newton at quarterback, you really can't complain. He set so many rookie records last year, running, passing, all these different accolades he just collected. I mean, I know it's a team sport, and I know he needs to help his team win, which he really did. But whenever it all comes down to it, it is a team game, not a self game, and he needs his teammates to step up. He has one of the best wide receivers in the game still with Steve Smith. They have good running game, 1-2 punch with D'Angelo Williams and Jonathan Stewart. They went out and traded before last season for Greg Olsen, and I think that's only going to help their pass game. I think their defensive game is still going to struggle, so I'm going to pick the Bucs in this game by the final score of 24-20. Now we have the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Denver Broncos. I think this is going to be an excellent game. The Denver Broncos beat the Pittsburgh Steelers in the wild card round last year in the NFL playoffs, and that was during the Tim Tebow era in Denver. That era is over. It is now the Peyton Manning era. Yes, Peyton Manning headed over to Denver this past offseason, and he will now be playing with the Denver Broncos. The Broncos had a lot of free agent signings because of Peyton Manning. They brought in a lot of good talent, and I think the Broncos are going to be much improved. The Pittsburgh Steelers, however, they have a new offensive coordinator in Todd Haley, who they really don't have much respect for. Ben Roethlisberger has stated in the past that his relationship with Haley is pretty strained. It's going to be a process, and I don't think they're going to have their chemistry down right at the beginning of the season. So I am going to pick the Broncos to win the first game of the season by the final score of 24-17. The first of two Monday night games will be played on ESPN. The Cincinnati Bengals will be playing in Baltimore against division rivals, the Baltimore Ravens. I think the Bengals made a lot of huge strides last year, finishing 9-7 under rookie quarterback last year, Andy Dalton. I think the Bengals are going to be that much better. They had 2 first-round picks. They got a cornerback in Drake Kirkpatrick, I believe, and I can't remember who their other first-round pick is, but Andy Dalton to me is one of the best up-and-coming quarterbacks in the NFL. I really like him. I think he's going to be really good, and I think he's going to make the Bengals take another step forward. I think they're going to finish around 10-6 this year, and the only thing setting the Bengals back is that tough division. They lost Cedric Benson as a running back. That'll hurt them. I don't know who the running back is at the moment. But the Ravens, I think Joe Flacco is very underrated. I think he wins games. He's a lot like Tim Tebow. He wins games, but he doesn't put up the best stats, although I do think he puts up better stats than Tim Tebow. They got Ray Rice back. They signed him to a contract extension. That helps so much. They have Anquan Boldin as their top receiver. They have pretty decent receivers, tight ends, and they have one of the best defenses in the game. So I think this is going to be a good game. However, I do think the Ravens are going to come out on top by the final score of 24-10. The final game I have to talk about this week is the San Diego Chargers at the Oakland Raiders. Both went 8-8 last year, both division rivals. I think it's going to be a very good game. It's being played in Oakland. The Oakland Raiders are going to have a full season with Carson Palmer. He knows the offense now. He's got a little bit better chemistry with the wide receivers. They have a really, really good running back in Darren McFadden, and if he can stay healthy, the Raiders will be very well off. They have a pretty good defense, not the best, but they're certainly not the worst, and I think they will get better as time goes on. The Chargers, they're a little iffy for me. I mean, I like Phillip Rivers. I don't like him as a person, but I like him as a quarterback. I think he's a very good quarterback, but I just don't think he has the weapons. He lost Vincent Jackson. He lost Darren Sproles over a year ago, and I just don't think he's going to be the same guy. They brought in Robert Meacham to help him out in the passing game, but they really don't have the same identity. Their defense isn't really good. I really think the Raiders have their number this year. I think the Chiefs and the Broncos do as well. I wouldn't be surprised if the San Diego Chargers finish last in their division. Although we'll see what happens. Phillip Rivers has a knack for winning in the regular season and then just blowing in the postseason. So we will see. But as far as this game goes, I am going to pick the Raiders by the final score of 27 to the Chargers 21. So as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe my videos. It'll be so beneficial to me. I really appreciate the feedback. I would love to hear any of your guys' thoughts or predictions on week 1 or any weeks during the NFL. I will be doing this as a weekly series. I hope you enjoy it. I know I do. I know I look forward to coming back, so hopefully I can get some more views, subscribers, and things of that nature, so that it will continue to inspire me to create these videos for you. Thank you very much, as I said before, and remember, go Cowboys.